Hello everybody, my name is Rebecca Grace and today we are going to look at how to make parts of your footer reach all the way across your screen. So you'll notice that as I come down here, I have a newsletter block in my footer, which is a good marketing tool, meaning as once it's in your footer, it will go on every page of your website. But you'll notice that there's a little bit of space here between my site and my footer block. I've made the background black so it's easier for you to see. And you'll see my newsletter block doesn't reach to the end of my footer. So there's a couple things we can do to change that. First thing I'm going to warn you just to be careful with how much you take away here. For visibility reasons, you don't want your words to go all the way across your screen. So if you have lots of text in here and you take away the padding like we're going to do, then it can make the visibility difficult here. So if your goal is just to have the color reach all the way across, like my black reach all the way across, I'm going to show you some code for that, but I will also show you what to do if you do want your newsletter block to reach all the way across. So first things first, let's look at maybe what's causing this. So let's go to Design, Site Styles, okay. And if we hover over our footer block so that that blue line appears and click, that will bring up the styles, the parts in your site styles that affect this section. And you notice there's a content inset. So if I change that, if I scroll that up and down, you'll notice that that is what is changing my block. I can set this to 0, which makes my newsletter block reach the edge of my footer. However, that also changes the content inset, so how far this text goes in the rest of your website. So that may not be what you want to do. If you've designed the rest of your site with that setting in mind, it could really change things in your website. So that's one thing that's affecting it. Something else that could be affecting it is some of the different padding. So you'll notice that here we have padding that goes up and down, and in some templates you might be able to change the padding here and different things like that. So it's always good to go through your site styles and see what's causing it if you can change that padding. But if you only want this change on one section, be careful that it's not changing other areas of your site. And I'll show you how to do this using some custom coding that just affects this section. So let's go back to Design. We're going to go to Custom CSS. And you can see this code here represents the black background, so you're not going to have that. But if you want to take out this padding between the edge of the site and your footer, you're going to use the following code. Okay. And you'll notice that takes out the padding. It also puts 0 padding between the section above and here, so if you do want to add a little bit more space, you can add in a top and bottom padding, which changes here. So you can, for example, set it to 50 to change this. Otherwise, just leave it at 0 all the way around. And that takes out the space between the outside and the inside of the footer. If you do want the newsletter to go all the way to the edge, then this is how you do that for a newsletter block. So I've called that specific block in play, newsletter block. Set the position to relative and the width to 100%. So if it's not a newsletter block here, but some other feature, a forum or something, you'll have to change this section to whatever that block is called. And that takes a little bit more advanced CSS on your part. But if you want it to be a newsletter block, this is the code you use for that. And that's how you set your newsletter block to go all the way across your footer. If you want this to be a different color, then you can change this word black here to be whatever code is the color of this, and that way it will look completely seamless all the way around.